Hello, welcome to another reading for Black girls, for Black women. We're going to start off this reading with an affirmation. Yay. All right, so let's see. What affirmation will pop after that? Ooh. I can keep going when it feels right to. Yeah, I like that. It says, I can keep going when it feels right to. Yeah. Take a break. Rest. You don't have to rush through this thing. Like, you don't have to rush through life. That's something I'm learning. Like, you don't have to. You can take a pause. You know what I'm saying? It's not less worthy because it took you a long time to get there, right? You can keep going when it feels right to. I think too often we're burdened because we believe that we got to get there and get there fast, right? We're always in a race. We're always in a race. But who are we racing? Who are we competing against? Right? We're living our own life. Life is not a race. Life is not a race. Yeah, so I can keep going when it feels right. And don't let nobody tell you when to go, right? Like, you know you. You know you. You know what you need. You know if you need to rest. Trust your body. I feel like in this world, we're always taught to second guess ourselves and to default to somebody else's wisdom, right? We're always taught that we're not smart enough to think for ourselves. But like, you haven't gotten this far without being smart, right? Like, you have to learn to trust yourself. You have the answers. And your body, when it's saying, I'm tired, when your mind is foggy, right? It's not the time to push through. Take a break. Take a break. It's not less worthy because you took a break. It's not less worthy because it took you longer to get there. It took you longer to get there than your peers. It's not less worthy. And you are worthy of rest. And if you take your time, you're going to get there in your own time, yes. But also you're going to be healthy when you get there. You're going to be able to enjoy the rewards. What's the point of rushing to your destination when you get there? You're not going to be able to enjoy it. You know, in this journey, I feel like whether you're creative or just in life, whether you have a goal, it's January, so understand that some goals come with things that look like or feel like setbacks, but they're a part of the journey. I think we've been taught to see like setbacks as like the end or to be embarrassed of them, right? You don't have to be embarrassed because that's the process. It's not linear. It's hardly ever linear. No journey is linear. There's a lot of dips and turns and curves and oh, let me go back. Hold up, I missed that part, right? Have grace with yourself. You can keep going when it feels right, when it feels right to you, to you. Trust the timing of your life. There have been times in my life where I guess I thought that I had to keep going, and then I stopped or I paused or I took a break, and I worried that I would never come back around or the chances would never come back around. I promise you they'll come back around when they're supposed to. And when you're in the right time at the right place, right? When you're at the right time in the right place, when that opportunity comes again, you'll be ready for it. You'll be rested. You've licked your wounds, you've healed, you've reassessed, you've learned new things, right? And you'll be able to show up in that process a new person. A new person, okay? So let's see. Is there any other affirmations? I can keep going when it feels right to. Follow, like, trust that intuition. You really have to get really connected to yourself and your intuition. And you have to learn to trust yourself above all else, above everyone else. Even the people that mean well for you, they're not you. They don't know your capacity. We live in a very ableist society where we're like, go, 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 do, be, right? No, like, be yourself. I go at a slow pace. I'm a slow-paced person, and I find that I like that. And if I were to go fast, I'd be tired, I'd be overwhelmed, I'd be exhausted, and I'd only be performing for other people. A lot of the things that we do in our lives are because of other people. We don't want other people to perceive us as losers or as, weak or whatever the word is. Trust yourself. You're human. Move at a human pace. Life comes in cycles. Things come in cycles. In real life, organic matter, it's a cycle. When a plant grows, right, it blooms and it blossoms and it drops fruit and it goes dormant during the winter, right? It's winter time. Maybe it's not the right time for you to keep going right now. Maybe you need to chill and relax. Relax and trust that life is going to give you the thing when it's time to give it to you. But right now, your work is to rest. Your work is to trust yourself and to trust your own pace. So let's see if we have any other affirmations that may come up. If not, that's cool too. Hold on, just let me see if anything comes up. All right. Okay. So yes. So I guess that's the affirmation for today. I can keep going when it feels like it. All right. So let's pull another card. Ooh, this one. Just coming off the deck. Just jumping out the deck. All right. Ooh, follow the spark. Follow the spark. Yes. Okay. Yes, I love that. All right. So how will you know when it's time to go again? When you feel that spark, when you're inspired, when you're excited, when you actually have the energy. Like, you know what it is when you become inspired by something, right? And you're just like, oh my God, I want to go in. I want to go all in and do it. Like, that's all you can see. That's all you can focus on. Trust that that spark will come back around. But you can't have a spark if you're burned out, right? That's like the opposite of spark. You have to rest. Burnout is not cute. It's not fun. It's exhausting, and it takes forever to heal from. Wouldn't you rather go at a slower pace and follow the nudgings and follow the flow of life? Life ebbs and flows, right? It brings you an inspiration and gives you something to do and gives you time to settle and sit and digest. Then it comes and sparks you again. Like, that's how life works. Trust that the spark is going to come back around. Okay? So when it feels right to is when you have that spark. And I love how it's like outside the window. Like, it's just a person. Like, you can imagine a person gazing outside of a window here and then seeing a shooting star, right? But you can't see that shooting star if you're always going, right? If you're not looking out the window, if you're not taking time to gaze and look at the sky, you're not going to see that spark. You're going to miss it, you know? And I feel like even in my personal life, I feel like there have been so many times where I was like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. And it's like, what's next is to rest. This is not the time to keep going. This is a time to reflect and to pause. So yeah, so wait for the spark. And don't, I'm not saying look in the sky like, where is the spark? Like, anxiously. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is enjoy the sky. Enjoy the skyline. Enjoy the plants, right? Prettify where you are. Beautify where you are, right? Yeah, savor the life. And in that savoring, you will find the spark. It is often when we're taking a shower or doing something mundane that a spark comes, an idea comes. A spark usually doesn't come when you're pressing it to come, when you're forcing it to come. Don't nobody like to feel like that. Don't nobody like to feel pressured like that. Spirit does not like to feel that way. So don't push, don't effort. Sit and bask and wait, right? And then follow that spark when that spark comes. And trust that the spark will come, okay? Is there any other cards that we should pull for this? So yeah, so maybe right now you're in a season of rest, and maybe everyone around you is setting January intentions, and you're like, listen, I ain't got it. I don't have the energy. I don't have the spark. I don't have the inspiration. But you feel like you have to do it because everybody's doing it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be where you are right now. Be in the season that you're actually in. Because in this season, when you're present in the season, you'll get everything you need for when that spark does come. You want to be prepared, right? And prepared doesn't mean like you have to have all the answers. It means you have the energy to learn, to try, to move forward. But you can't do that if you're always pushing through and if you're always out of season and out of time. You want to be in your right time, not in somebody else's timeline, not in somebody else's process, right? You are in your life. People can only give you advice as much as they've done, right? People can only give you advice, stuttering, as much as they have done. They have never lived your life. They've never walked in your shoes. You know your limitations. You know your limits. This world pushes us beyond our limits. We don't even know our boundaries. What are your boundaries? What are your boundaries? What are your signs that you've had enough, that your mind has had enough, that your body has had enough, that your soul has had enough? What does it look like before you burn out? What are the signs there? For me, my eyes get hot, right? My head gets full. I just feel so like blah, like it's just a blah feeling. And I know what that is. And I'm not going to push myself beyond that because somebody else tells me that I have to keep going. For who? Who am I trying to please? I'm not here to please people. I'm here to live a good life. And I can't live a good life if I'm always out of alignment. If I'm always listening to other people. I go at my own pace. It took me 9 years to graduate college. And I felt so much shame about that thing. I was so ashamed. I was so embarrassed because everybody was doing it. But I was going through depression. I was going through real life stuff. My parents were getting divorced. It was a lot of stuff going on. Personal stuff that was going on. And everybody was looking at me like, oh, why can't you just push through, right? But they're not living my life. I've been through things that will make people crumble, and it took the time that it took. And I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed anymore because that's the time that it needed to take. It took the time it needed to take, you know? And I got my degree eventually, and even if I didn't, who cares, right? But I got my degree eventually, and I got it when it felt right for me to get it. And it's not saying that there were other people who were looking at me, parents who were looking down on me, who were expecting me to be somewhere that I was not, right? Like, that's not, I couldn't put my focus on that. And that shame I carried, and it made the journey even harder. But when you actually allow yourself to be human, and when you allow yourself to take the time that it takes to get the thing done, you enjoy the journey. It don't have to be hard. It don't have to be heavy. Trust the timing of your life, trust the journey of your life. Trust the cycles of your life. That spark is going to come back around. You know? And honestly, I wish that I had been more present. I wish I had taken my time, because I wouldn't have beat myself up so much. I wouldn't carry so much shame that I had to unlearn and heal from, because there was no shame. There was no shame. Life happens. And school is hardly ever set up for actual people with real life and real life problems. Okay. But yes, follow the spark. And again, the spark will find you in the mundane. The spark will find you at home resting. The spark will find you as you're tending to your plants and cleaning up your home, right? And taking a shower, doing the basic things that are important, brushing your teeth, flossing, right? Taking care of this body, taking care of your mind so that you actually have the energy in the space to hear yourself. How can you hear yourself clearly if it's inundated with like with baggage from other people? And also, like, how can you really hear yourself when you're not taking care of yourself? If you're not taking care of yourself, you're gonna get sick, you're gonna be burned out, you're not gonna have the energy or the time or the health to get the thing done. Take care of yourself. That's not a step to overlook. It's most important. It's foundational. I have a friend who says rest is foundational for everything. Rest is foundational for everything, and I agree. She says rest is foundational for creativity, but it's foundational for everything. Without rest, how can you hear? In music, without rest, when does a song begin if it's always just constant music? Rest is good. You know when you're in a noisy place, and then the sound gets cut off, and how you're just like, a sigh of relief, like, ooh, I can think clearly again. Or when you're driving and you have to turn down the volume so you can see better. Same thing, right? Turn down the noise that is internal and external. Daily practices of taking care of yourself is ritual, and it's devotion to yourself. And your spirit loves space. So follow the spark by giving your spirit space, okay? All right, let me see if there's any other cards. Oh, okay. Cards are just jumping out. All right. Yes. Any one card, please, or okay, or two. Let's see. Ooh, finish line. Oh, I love that. Finish line. Yeah. I love that. So this is also about this the follow the spark is the beginning, right? And the finish line. I feel like the finish line is what we're always most focused on, right? But if you notice, there's so much in between the spark and the finish line. You know what I'm saying? Like, take your time in this process. The finish line is, it's not a race that's about speed. I know this is a picture of a person like, yeah, I'm first. I'm first in life. That's not it. Whenever you get to that finish line is worthy of celebration. Whenever you get to the finish line, that's worthy of celebration. No matter how long it takes, no matter who has to poo-poo you're pacing your time, take your own pace and your own time. You will get there eventually. And when you get there, you'll be able to enjoy it and celebrate because you're not haggard and tired. Because you didn't push yourself beyond your limits. You didn't push yourself too far, too fast because other people were saying go faster. You centered yourself. And in order to get to the finish line, right, you have to go at your own pace. I think a lot of people think that in order to get to the finish line, you have to go fast and hard. But the truth is it's slow and human paced. That's how you get to the finish line. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. Life is long. Life ain't no race. Life is long. You become multiple people in this lifetime. You meet multiple versions of yourselves. You meet so many friends. Like where you are today, you couldn't imagine where you would be here 10 years ago. Let the journey play out itself and enjoy every step of the journey, not just the finish line. Not just the finish line, but the entire thing. All right? Okay. So we're going to pull a card from the ritual deck to see how can we implement and what's the word I'm looking for? how can we integrate? That's the word I'm looking for. How can we integrate this into our daily lives? See what comes up. Oop. See what comes up. Ooh, okay. Ooh, I love this. I am brave. That's the card that came out. I am brave. I'm gonna be honest with you. In order to take your own time and to go your own pace, you have to be brave. In order to trust your own self, your own inner knowing, you have to be brave. You have to be resolute. You got to know. You got to believe that you know what you're talking about. The affirmation says, I am brave. Bravery. Bravery is required to go your own pace. Bravery is required to listen to your own self. Bravery is required to set boundaries with people and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go when it feels right to go. I'm gonna go when it feels right to go. Not when you call me lazy, not when you call me undisciplined, not when you think that I should be where you think I should be when you think I should be there, right? It takes bravery. Resting takes bravery. Going slow takes bravery. I'm learning that in my own journey. Bravery is required. And we also know that you are already brave. You have not gotten this far in life without being brave. You are brave. You are very brave. But understand, in order to follow the spark, when you find that spark and it doesn't make sense, when nobody knows what you're talking about or doing, when people want to poo-poo your idea, it takes bravery to keep going. It takes bravery to keep trusting yourself, because there will be a bunch of naysayers. Even people who love you, people who want you to do well, people who want the best for you, right? Will try to put their intentions and their, all their things onto you. It takes bravery to be like, you know what? I love you and I know that you care about me, and also I have to go my own way. I have to go my own pace. I know that you're going ahead of me, using air quotes ahead of me, because we know we're not in a real competition. But I know that you're going ahead of me, or going at a faster pace than I am, but I'm going to go slower. I'm going to do the opposite of what people are saying. Think about that. That's the opposite of what the world is saying. The world is saying, go fast, go hard, do the most, right? It takes bravery to do the least. It takes bravery to listen to yourself and to believe yourself. And also to celebrate yourself, like to not see yourself going slow as some failure, or like as some, I don't know, something to make accommodations for, right? Like it's not about that. If this is you, this is your life. Like you don't have to acclimate to anybody. You have to follow yourself. You got to believe yourself. This is not saying, yeah, sorry guys, I go a little slow. Sorry, I'm holding y'all back. No, this is a celebration. This is, yeah, I'm going my own pace, and I like that. Yeah, I'm taking my time. I'm resting here because I'm tired. I'm resting here because I don't have anything to do right now. Even if people call you lazy, right? Celebrating that. Celebrating the bravery it takes to rest, because people will call you names. People will call you lazy. It takes bravery to do all the things that's required, from every step, from the spark to the finish line. It takes bravery. It takes bravery to listen to yourself. Okay? So the question is, what brave thing is your soul asking from you? How can you be brave? What things are you doing because you're afraid of people looking down on you? Does it really fit you? Do you really like it? Do you like going that fast and that hard? Do you need a break? It takes bravery. Okay? It takes bravery. Even with running, right? There are times when people have to, they're not running full speed the entire race, right? People pace themselves. They've practiced this. It seems like they know what they're doing because they've done it for so long. But people who are practiced in racing, right? They know, okay, here I'm going to speed up. Here I'm going to slow down. Here I'm going to take a break. I think about marathon runners and how they'll run long distances, right? But they'll also have points where they're stopping and taking a break. They have points where they're trying to catch their breath, or warm up, or re-energize themselves with food, right? They listen to their bodies, because if they don't, they could die. It's that serious. And you don't want to faint before you get to where you're trying to go. You don't have to faint. You can listen to yourself now and rest. And understand that nothing is lost. You didn't lose your time. No one's lapping you. You're in a journey all your own. You're in a race all your own. Nobody is racing this race but you. And the race, there's a scripture that talks about, like, the race is not given to the swift, right? But those who endure. I often think about that because it's not about who gets there faster, right? We don't want to get to our destination fast. We want our life to be full. We want our lives to be full. We want our lives to be juicy. And you can't have a juicy life racing and rushing through it. When you're growing a plant, right? Sometimes it takes longer to grow, so it gets all that nutrients and all that juice and all that joy into that plant. You don't want to rush the process. You're a human being. Humans actually need to go slow. I know it's against what we've been taught, but humans need to pace themselves. Be brave enough to be human. Be brave enough to rest. Be brave enough to go at your own pace. As we go into January, I don't care if everybody's like, hey, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go hard and do 30 days or whatever, blah, blah. If you only got one thing a week, if you got one thing this month that you want to get done, like scheduling doctor's appointments, okay, that was my one thing. You can keep going when it feels right to, not when anybody rushes you, not a moment sooner, okay? And when you're ready to go, you'll be able to go with full breath, right? Rested and healthy. You do not have to rush yourself. You don't have to force yourself into anything. Take your time. Be brave, because you are brave. You didn't get this far in your life without being brave. Okay? So again, just to recap, I can keep going when it feels right to, not a moment sooner. Follow the spark, right? So when you're resting and saying, oh, when is it time to? Wait till that spark comes. That's when you'll know. That inspiration, that intuition, it'll come, be like, hey, it'll come knocking and running. Hey, I'm excited. This new thing, let's do it. Or also, one more thing I want to say. When you're as a creative, there are some times when I get to a place where I'm just like, I don't know where to go from here. And I feel like I got to push through. I don't push through. I pause. I wait. I don't care if I wait a year, months, weeks, days, hours, right? At some point, a spark will come. That thing will be answered. And it's usually found in the living. It's not found me forcing and pushing and pulling and prodding. No, it's found in the living, because spirit, my creativity, my intuition, right? Creativity, inspiration is a spirit. Inspiration wants you to trust her too. If you told somebody, hey, I'm gonna do this thing for you, and they kept hounding you about it over and over again, it's gonna make you less likely to want to do it, right? We want people to respect us and respect our boundaries and respect our, oh, give me a minute, give me time. Spirit is the same way. Respect your creativity, respect your process. Follow when that spark comes, and it will come, then you go. But right now, maybe your intuition, your creativity has nothing to say right now, and that's cool. Live, enjoy. You don't have to be like, I'm missing life. No, you're too distracted worrying about this to actually enjoy the life in your home and all the beautiful things. And then when you're actually enjoy and you happen to look out the window, oh my gosh, there it is. I'm so excited. Let the spark find you living. Let the spark find you enjoying. Let the spark find you savoring and communing and caring for yourself and the world around you. Your life is a full life. It's not just about the goal. It's about the enjoyment and the pleasure and the full living. Live your life. And from the spark to the finish line, right? You're going to get to the finish line happy if you take your time, if you follow your own process. Because what does it say? This says a marathon. It don't say no sprint. It says a marathon. Life is a marathon with different events. And those different events take different time and different focuses and different muscles and different strategies. Be patient with yourself. You've only lived this life once. Okay? You've never lived this life before. You've lived this life once. Give yourself grace to figure it out. And trust. Be brave enough to trust yourself, the timing of your life, where you are. Be brave enough to enjoy your life. Be brave enough to be like, you know what? It's beautiful here. Let me enjoy this. Don't wait for the other shoe to drop. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the rewards. The reward is not the end of the race, right? That's not the point. The people who are marathon runners over and over again, I'm sure they love winning. I'm sure they love getting to the finish line. But I think what they love more than that is the actual journey. They love the actual journey. Because you get to the finish line and then what? Okay, now we got the thing. Be brave enough to be fully present in your life and fully present in the process. Okay? You are brave. Be brave enough to follow your own intuition. Be brave enough to go at your own pace. Be brave enough to take a break. Be brave enough to pause. Be brave enough to go slow if you need to. Be brave enough to run when you feel inspired. And then be brave enough to go at a human pace. Be brave. You are already brave. Okay? So I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know. I'm having fun. And until next time, y'all, be brave. Remember that you are everything good. All right. Later.